In this tutorial, I will try to show you how to make use of monthly budget template to take full control over your finances. In this spreadsheet, we have 7 tabs in total. I will go each tab one by one and explain what are the functions of each tab and how can you make the best use of all these tabs. The first one is instructions that contains the summary, important instruction, and explanation of the remaining 6 sheets. As for the important instructions, this is explaining that when you start using this spreadsheet in various tabs, you will see some of the areas are having green borders like these ones, and some of the sections may have red border like these ones. You see here, red border. So the significance of this green border and red border is, in order for this spreadsheet to work properly for you, you have to be careful. You can and also you only need to change anything within the cells that are with green border. The cells that are in red border, you do not have to make any change. These will automatically pull the data from previous input that you have made, either through this tab or through that tab. So in simple sentence, if you want to make this spreadsheet work properly, then do not make any change within the areas that are surrounded by red borders. And also you don't need to do any change there because all the formulas are set accordingly. The only thing you need to change, and you can change and you should change, is the areas that are surrounded by green borders. Okay, so this is very important to keep in mind while using this spreadsheet. Moving on, the next tabs, this explanation of sheets contain the simple explanation of the remaining tabs, which we will also describe and show through this tutorial. So after the explanation section, there is another area that will show you if you want to change any color, how to do so, and then if you want to change currency, then how to do so, etc. Okay, so moving on to the next step, we have input data. So if you notice that here all the sections are surrounded by green, which means that this is the area where you input all the data. For demonstration purpose, we have considered some demo data like saving 1, savings 2, savings 3, bill 1, bill 2, bill 3, expense 1, expense 2, expense 3. But of course, you can easily change them. Let me show you. So you can easily change them and you can name them according to your requirement. Okay, and of course you can also adjust the budget. It's 100, you can change it to 500. Okay, I'm just showing that you can make changes to these cells. Why? Because these are surrounded by green border. Okay, so in this step you have like all the expenses or savings are categorized into 4, whether it is savings or bills or expenses or debt. So all the transactions are categorized into 4 so that you can clearly note down or input the corresponding details here. And this input tab, through this tab you can input the data that you are planning. So let's say, for example, the first tab here is select your start date. So let's say, for example, you want to start budgeting or making use of this sheet from the 1st of August. You do not have to. You can change the date to whatever you need according to your requirement. That's why you have designed it in a way so that whenever you will click on this cell, it will pop up a calendar, and from that calendar you can choose according to your requirement. So for this demonstration purpose, let's say we have decided to make use of this spreadsheet starting from August 1st, 2024. So that's why we choose the date. And then you are planning to save for August 2024, you are planning to save, let's say, $100, and you have another category of savings that you are planning. So let's say, for example, you are saving for your vacation. Okay, just for example, $100, it can be 1,000 or more depending upon your financial situation. And then let's say you want to make another saving to buy something new. Let's say you want to buy a new car or something you want to have in future, right? So you can change according to your requirement, the savings, the bills. So all these are planned, not the actual one. So you are planning for saving for your vacation, let's say $100, and for your new car you want to save $200 or whatever amount. So these all the data that you are inputting in this step, these are planned. Like you are planning that you will save this. The actual case may be different, and that's why you have another tab which is transaction. And here whenever you will click on this, we have also set it up in a way so that you can choose the date according to your requirement. So let's say on the first day of the August you have saved up $100 already. Then this is your actual value. But let's say, for example, for some reason you were unable to save $100, but you have saved rather $80, for example. So this transaction tab, you will input the real data, and this one is the plan. So before August or at the beginning of August you are planning to save $100, but for some reason our plan does not go always according to like things do not go according to our plan. So in reality there might be some other challenges, right? So that's why let's say you were able to save $80. Okay, now this will be reflected here. See, here you planned $100, but actually you ended up saving $80, and the difference is $20. So that is why you remember I told that you do not have to change anything in the areas that are with red borderline. So see, you didn't input anything here, but it has pulled the data from previous tabs. Okay, so in summary, the input data tab, through this tab you can input all the data that you are planning ahead for the month. So you can plan saving, you can plan your bill, you can plan your potential expenses, your debt, things like that. And the actual data, the real-time data, you can input through transaction tab. So input data will take, or through input data you can input all the planned expenses, savings, bills and debts, and the transactions is the one where the reality comes into play. Okay, so I'm changing it back to 100 just to show you how it reflects here. So see, it is automatically updated. So your planned was 100, actual was 100, so difference is 0. Okay, so and whatever data you input here, it will be available in this transaction tab. So let's say we have 3 savings, 3 bills, 3 expenses, 3 debts, right? So that is why in this pop-up you will see 3 savings, 3 bills, 3 expenses and 3 debts. Okay, so that is why if you want to include anything, you have to input here and it will be automatically available here. Okay, so I hope this is clear that the input data will contain all the data you are planning for the month, and you can make that plan on the 1st of August or at whatever date you want. And the transaction tab will contain the real-time data, okay, the actual value of the transactions date-wise. And then when we move to the monthly budget tab, then we have very little to customize because everything else is automatically pulled up from the previous data, either from input data tab or from transaction tab. So here the only area you need to touch or you have to touch is this area where you can input the main job salary, and if you have any side job or any other income, and you can specify the payday when you get the salary of your main job, side job and other income. So you can change all of that, and in fact you have to change all of that because your financial situation will not reflect what is mentioned here, because these are just sample data to illustrate how the spreadsheet works, right? So you do not have to touch these cells. This will automatically updated when you change this. Okay, so just to show you, so let's say this is 5,000, right? So if I update 4,000, then see this automatically updates, right? So that is why these areas are surrounded by red. You don't have to touch. The only thing you have to touch is this. And this monthly budget tab actually summarizes the previous two tabs. All the input data that are planned will be reflected here. All the actual data that in from the transaction tab will be pulled up here, and all of them are presented side by side. Okay, here savings, debt, bills, and expenses. Okay, and moving on to the graphs, here this will show you uh, to what extent uh, the discrepancy between your planned and actual data. So let's say to what was your planned expenses and how much you have expended in reality. Okay, so this will represent that, and this graph will show with time how your balance is going up and down. If you see, it shows that at this point of time, before the 4th of the month, its balance is a little less than 5,000. So if we go ahead and see, you see that before 4th of the month, we have our balance is 4,850, which is little less than 500, right? So why 5,000 is there? You see the date is 2nd of August, right? And on 2nd of August, as per the sample data, sorry, as per the sample data, your payday is 2, right? Which means the second date of August you are getting $5,000 salary, right? So which means that at the beginning of the month you had expense of $100, but you did not have any income. That is why the balance is minus 100. Then once you had income, once you have received the salary of 5,000, then it moved to 4,890, right? This way, this entire table is plotted on and presented through this graph, so that you can easily understand your financial situation, the balance with time, how it is fluctuating. Okay, and the next one is spending overview. So spending overview meaning that how much you have spent in savings, debt, bills, and expenses. So this is also the representation of all the data that are recorded here. Okay, and finally we have budget category. You remember you have input all the data here. Here savings, bills, expense, debt, all of them are automatically updated here from both input data tab and transaction tab. And then you see PERC, this means percentage. So for example, to explain it in a clearer way, so let's say savings one, it shows actual 100 and percentage 100. This means that your savings is 100% compared to your planned savings. So you have planned for savings $100, and you were able to make savings $100, which means that you were able to make 100% of the saving. But let's say, for example, we were able to save $80 instead of $100. Now you see what happened here. See, you were able to save 80% of what you have planned, right? So this percentage means how much percentage you were able to stick to your plan. Okay, so in this example we were able to stick to 80% of what we have planned. We have planned for savings $100, but here it's $80 in reality. This means that we were able to stick to 80% of the what we have planned, right? So I will just put it back again, $100, just to show you it is getting updated. See, now it is updated again to 100. Okay, so this whole table is also represented graphically through this chart, so that you can get an instant view of what is happening and how everything is going on in terms of your finances. Moving on to the next step, calendar. Here you can note down whatever you, so let's say for example bill one, if we go back input data, bill one you have $10 and payday is the first day, right? So in this calendar you can note here the bill one, I have just randomly put it here, but you can of course change it to BL1 or to whatever. So the main theme here of this calendar is, let's say you have a bill due on the 2nd of August. So you can just write it down here, and you have one expense that is due on 3rd of August. Okay, you can write it here, and once you have made the bill or paid the bill, you can check it off and it will get cross it off. This way, once you make the plan for the month, then as the month goes and as you start paying off the bills and expenses, you can just start taking on that, and it will be checked off. It will be crossed off, sorry. This way you can keep track of all your expenses, bills, dates, and never miss a payment on time again. Okay, and in this tab you only need to change, as it is mentioned here, you only need to change the areas that are with white color. Okay, this means that you can make change or you can write something in these areas, but not here, not here. That is why this instruction is given. Okay, and moving on to the next one is sinking fund tab. So in this sinking fund tab, you see, I'm just zooming in. So here this left side area is surrounded by green, which means that you can change, and actually you have to change because it will depend completely upon your financial situation. And this right area is surrounded by red, which means that you do not have to change. The Excel will automatically make the calculation for you. Okay, and this area is also with green check and green border. This means that you can change this data on this area. Okay, so what's the purpose of this step sinking fund? So you can set some saving goals. Let's say, for example, you want to make savings for your vacation, furniture, new laptop, school fund, or whatever you want, and you want to save a certain amount of money. For example, you want to save $4,000 for vacation, 3,800 for furniture, and how much you want to save monthly, and what is the starting budget. So once you specify all of that, the rest of the calculation will be done for you by this step. This is how the formula are set. And that is why we are requesting repeatedly that do not touch these cells, because these contain the formula. For this tab to work properly for you, just refrain yourself from touching these cells. Okay, because this will get adjusted whenever you make changes here. So let's say, for example, if I change it to 5,000, then you see everything gets changed, right? So here when we put the 5,000, then the estimated date of completion is December 10, 2025. But if we put 4,000, then it gets updated. Okay, so this way you just need to put the savings goal and for which type of saving, and how much you can save for that goal monthly, and what is the starting budget. And then the next up, it will show how much you have saved so far, how much is left, what's the percentage of your progress, estimated number of months you will be able to reach that goal, and the date when you will be able to reach that goal. Okay, and this is shown through a graph here, like what is the actual amount you have saved and what is left, so that you can understand from this graph visually, even without looking at the table, what's your target, what is left, and how much you have saved. Okay, now moving on to this one, contribution tracker. So this one is, as you see, it is surrounded by green border, so you can date wise. So let's say, for example, on the 1st of August you were able to save $300 for vacation. Okay, you can change the category from this drop down menu. So whatever amount you have saved for whichever goal, you record it here, and all of these, once you record everything as per your requirement, everything will be reflected through this chart, like how much. And that is why the various categories are color coded. So for example, vacation has this color, furniture has this color. Okay, so that you can visually understand even without looking at the table, that what is the percentage of contribution for different types of savings. Okay, and the final tab is debt calculator. So it's also very interesting, and it will do an amazing job for you. So if you have a number of debts, it will calculate everything you need to pay off that debt and strategically, and that strategy that is programmed in this step is called snowball strategy, which means that once you enlist uh, your debts in this area, again you do not have to touch this area as this is surrounded by red. So here you can input the debt name and the amount, the interest rate and minimum payment. That is only the thing that you need to do, and the rest will be done by the Excel. So if you see the sample data listed here, we see the list amount of debt is personal loan debt. So that is why it comes first. So the way snowball strategy works is it will target first the least amount of the debt you have and finish it off, and then it will move on to the next. So that is why once you input the starting date, you can choose as per your plan from the calendar when it pops up, and then you can change this data as per your financial situation, that is extra payment in the beginning and extra payment monthly. Next, you can enlist all the debts you have with corresponding balances, interest rates, and minimum payments. And then this sheet will give you a payment plan and will show you the estimated debt-free date. So for example, if you have a car loan of $50,000 at an interest rate of 5% and minimum payment is 376, then it has given you a plan to pay off that car loan in a way so that you will be debt free on July 1st of 2031, and you can change the amount to whatever your situation reflects. Okay, so once you input all the data and all the name of the dates, then everything will be done for you, and you can just follow up this date and make payments accordingly, and then you will see on this estimated date you are getting debt free. Isn't that amazing? And then the another point is in this graph you will have a visual uh, representation of your various dates, how much which amount of date is how much. So this is for the visual presentation even without looking at the data. And of course you have to look into the data because this is the payment plan according to the date uh, is given by this sheet. So it will be very useful for those who have debts to pay off their debt uh, as quickly as possible. So that is all about this monthly budget template. I hope this was useful, and if you have any question you can contact us. You can email us or message us. The information will be given in the description below. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate your time. And before ending the video, one more request is this: while creating this tutorial, it was kept in mind that if anyone does not have a background on spreadsheet, so that they can also understand this tutorial. So in case you are an intermediate user or an advanced user, then you can change the speed of the video to 1.5 or 2 as per your requirement to save your time. With that said, I am ending the video here, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.